Hello, my beautiful friends. You're probably wondering why I'm calling you beautiful. Because you guys are the best. Welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. I say you guys are the best because I have received many, I can't even say several. I have received many emails about my blood sugar issue. Y'all will be happy to know I have it below 150 now. Controlled below 150. Now I know that is still not good. I would love to see it under 100. But right now, I mean, literally, I am eating nothing. I am eating, but like, I know summer sausage. I can eat that. No sugar, no carbs. I'm trying to expand what I eat right now. I can get aged cheddar cheese. No sugar, no carbs. I'm trying to think what all I eat. I do eat the little tomatoes out of my garden. They're delicious. They do affect my blood sugar just a teensy bit. Right now, all I drink is water. I did have some baked fish last night and broccoli, and those were moderate. Since I did not cook it, I do not know how they prepared it, and that affected my blood sugar. But my blood sugar is starting to come down. It is now under 150. But I am not going to lie to you guys. I really want a taco right now so bad. But I have about an hour and a half to sew. So I'm going to try to do 2 of my Jolly Bar blocks to see if we can get this done. So friends, instead of me sitting here chit-chatting, let's get started. Now, the way I'm going to do this to make it quickest and most efficient is I have a block over here on my design board, and I have a block on my table. So what I'm going to do is just start on the design board and put the 2 blocks together. The first 2, I'm going to go straight down my board. I'm going to go the top 2, then the next 2, and so forth and so on. And I'm also going to, as I'm doing that, I'm going to do the ones on the table as well. So that way, I will be sewing all at one time and pressing all at one time. And we are going to see if we can get 2 of these blocks done. Because I really do want to get this quilt done. It is beautiful. I love these colors. I'm going to pull my board up here on the table with me so it's not so hard to reach, friends. Maybe you can see that. Guys, I have this design board in my Quilty things that I love. If you are interested, it is down in the description under Quilty things that I love. It is I think it's called an easel board. I do have a link. If you click that link in shop, you do not have to purchase what the link is. But if you click that link in shop, I am an Amazon affiliate, and I will receive a small commission off of anything that you purchase. Well, most anything. They do have categories that you don't receive commission off of. But you know how I see it, anything is better than nothing. And friends, when y'all do that, you do support my channel. Even though you're not giving to me directly, anything you purchase does earn me a commission and helps me out. I think it's pennies, friends. It is pennies. It's not a lot, but like I said, anything helps. So as I said before, all I'm doing is running 2 pieces at a time, and then once we get the 2, we'll attach to make the 4 quadrants of the large block. See, it's real easy. I'm just grabbing it off the board here. So friends, what are y'all doing today? I mean, how's your day going? This is our Whip It Wednesday. I'm just trying to beat the clock right now, trying to see how much I can get done in a short amount of time. Like I said, I don't have a lot of time. I wish I could do a marathon day of sewing, but I can't. I have work. Don't we all? Well, most of us has work. I wish I was able to retire. My husband and I we have talked about that. I've told him I really would love to retire and just travel. But I have seen people that did retire to travel, and they say, well, they were going to have to work, because in order to do that, you have to have money. And if you have a household that has bills, your money may have to go elsewhere to a household. But I am looking forward to getting out on the road. I even told my boss not too long ago, because I know he's pretty close to retiring. He's only 2 to 5 years from retiring, I think. And so is one of my supervisors. He's not my supervisor. We're like on an even level. But he is a supervisor, and I'm the admin coordinator. And he's even about to retire. I went to school with this guy, y'all. So we all kind of stay in the same general area. I actually, when I was in college, when I was in high school, I had moved away. But then when I was in college, I moved away as well. Not that I went that far. I just went a couple towns over. And I mean, it's not like I don't drive to this town at least twice a week. But ended up moving back home, friends. You know, they always say home is where the heart is. Well, my heart is here. But Meta is quickly changing that. And the sad thing is, I've heard people that live here, businesses that are supporting the Meta. And I've heard people say that they're no longer going to support those businesses that support Meta, because, you know, those businesses are receiving perks from the Meta being here, because, you know, they have all the business now. But also, you know, us folk that aren't getting the perks from it, you know, when Meta's gone and the water, you know, our natural resources are destroyed, we're stuck. We are stuck here. And those that are receiving the perks, they're able to leave. Right now, we have had, okay, I've got everything on my design board done. So now I'm making sure I'm not picking up a piece. I'm going to start on the blocks on my table. The rent where I live, if I wanted to rent my house right now, I could get $4,000 a month for it. And I'm sitting here thinking, as I'm saying that, then why am I not doing that? Because I like having my sewing room. I like having my kitty cats. Because I would have to find somewhere else to live. But they're talking about this is going to be going on like another 5 years. It's going to be a long time before this is done. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking maybe I could talk my daddy into letting me live with them. Maybe I could put a shed out on the property. Rent my house. They could pay me $4,000 a month, and I would take it and I would pay this baby off. because right now that is my biggest expense, is my house note. And it's not as big as a lot of people's. My house note is less than my daughter's house note, but of course she's got a 3-bed, 2-bath wood house. It's a pier and beam house, and they pay almost twice what I pay for my house, but they got 3 times the land that I got. But I tell you, I'm up in the air on this Meta stuff, because I can see where people are benefiting from it right now. We literally have people that cannot find, people local, that are being kicked out of their rent homes. So the owner, like when their lease comes up, they're not renewing their lease. So it's not like they're in the middle of a lease and being kicked out. It's just they're not renewing their lease. They're not renewing the lease. They're going in and renovating the houses to be a lot better. And then they're charging for a trailer, friends. A trailer. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. $4,000. $4,000. And our rent here, I know a lot of people, they're like, well, rent's pretty expensive. Here in Louisiana, no. In this area, $700 to $800 is about what rent is in this area. But now it's $4,000. Because one of my girlfriends lives just up the road from me, and she told me the house next door to her, it's like a little subdivision thing that it's not even it's just a road with a bunch of houses that's been built on it. It's not really a subdivision, but it was a house that they're just renting $4,000 a month for this house, and it's a 2-bedroom, if I'm not mistaken, 2-bed, 1 bath, cookie cutter house, just like everyone on the road. So that's insane, I think, don't you? I mean, I'm gonna have to find somewhere that has no neighbors, and I can put me a house right in the middle of 200 acres. That's what I need. I need to be in the middle of nowhere, because I like my privacy. I'm not going to say I don't like having neighbors. My family is my neighbors. But I've never had to deal with neighbor drama, so I wouldn't know. I see all the time, sometimes Facebook reels. Oh, Lord, I got out of order, friends. Oh, no. Well, I'll figure that out. It's on the bottom one. The second block that I'm making. But anyway, enough depressing news, right? There's too many beautiful things going on in this world to have all this depressing news. Let's see, my day, I get up, I go to work at 6 a.m., I get off at 4:30, I try to come home, do a little cooking, eat a little food, and then try to do some sewing. Well, it's already after 8 o'clock. So I'm giving myself an hour and a half. I normally am out of here by 9 o'clock. But I'm going to give myself an hour and a half today, because, friends, I am feeling a whole lot better now that my blood sugar is getting lower. So what I'm about to do, I'm going to take these pieces off my machine. I'm going to cut them apart and press them out, and then we'll start assembling the individual blocks that will make up the larger block. One moment, friends. Okay, friends, I am back. I have my pieces back up on my board. So what I am going to start doing is just taking my pieces here. Do it where you can see it. Got to make sure I'm not knocking it off of the table. And I'm just folding it over. And the one that's on the top is the one that's supposed to be on the top of the block. Guys, I've been messing up so bad lately. I did a block completely wrong the other day. I haven't done that in a really long time. But it happens. But you can always fix it. Not a problem. See how long we're running right now. We are at 30 minutes right now. I want to be able to get these two blocks done completely in that hour and a half. So that's what I'm shooting for. So now I'm going to the next block. Make sure I have these turned the correct way. Now, you are not going to get an hour and a half long video. Of course not. I wouldn't do that to you. You will get some of the sewing, a lot of the talking. And a finished project at the end. That's what we like to see, is a finished project at the end. Now, I probably pressed these wrong. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I try to press them where they will nest when I go sewing the rows together. Now, what I'll do is I'll get these 4 individual blocks completed, and then I'll sew the top 2 together to make the top of the block, and the bottom 2 together to make the bottom of the block, and then I will sew the top and bottom together. This is a pretty straightforward pattern. It does come out of the Jolly Bar pre-cut of this fabric. So you know, if you don't want this fabric, you can use any fabric, but I think this is a pretty fabulous pattern. And Jolly Bar, it's beautiful fabric. I love it. These are kind of my colors. I love mauve colors. I am about to redo my room. My husband doesn't know this. This is going to be a project for next year. In the winter time, actually, this year, what I'm going to do, once we have no issues with wasp or anything like that, we have moisture issues in our house, and I'm guessing, I'm not a professional, but I'm guessing that it is because we have had our house re-leveled, and the guy told us at the time, check to make sure your seals are okay. And I didn't know what he was talking about, but I thought my husband did. Well, either my husband did and just didn't care, which I know he doesn't want to live here. He's expressed that more than one time. But this is where I have to be right now, because I have family here that my parents are here and my aunt is here. And, it's my responsibility as a daughter to be here to help if they need anything. And I know it's hard on my husband, but he knew this is how it was before we even married. I had this house here before we married, and he knew, and I knew he was going to have to work 2 hours away, and he'd have to be gone, and that was okay because I had children from a prior marriage, and it worked out that way. Things worked fine that way. But now I know it's hard. I really do. I know it's hard, but this is just where I have to be right now. But what I am going to be doing, I am going to remove the walls. I'm going to start one room at a time. I'm probably going to start in the master bathroom, because I want to take all the, even though the master bathroom is not the worst room in the house, but it's a start. It's a good place to start. One of the things is my linen closet is next to, I live in a double wide, and my linen closet is next to the center wall of the house, the marriage line of the house. And the marriage line of the house does not have a seal. The seal on it is broke. It seeps air everywhere, and if you know anything about hot and cold air coming together, creates condensation, creates a moisture issue in your home. Well, in my master bath, the linen closet is next to that, and there is an issue because now I've noticed it's smelling damp in my linen closet. So that's going to come out completely. I'm not even going to have a linen closet. I'm going to rip that out completely. And I do know, like around the light switch, the moisture is there, friends. It is there. It is making a mess of my light switch. But I'm going to be working on that, and YouTube is going to be my general contractor, because I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to learn how to do this. Now, I'm not going to be working with electricity, but it is time for us to rewire the house anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to rewire a house every 15 to 20 years. Well, being in this house 20 years, so it's time to rewire the house. And while I have all the walls down in my master bath, I'm going to put me some sure enough electrical bars, electrical strips in there. We got one little outlet that has 4 outlets to it. I can't do that. I need more outlets. And I'm going to redesign my bathroom in the process. Okay, friends, got that done. I will be right back once I press these, and we'll start sewing the rows together. Okay, friends, we now have all of our 4 squares, quadrants, done. So what I'm going to do here, I'm working the one on the table so I have it out of the way so I can pull my other board up here. It don't take really long to do this, friends. And y'all, we are only running at like 40 minutes right now. Maybe, let's say 45. That's with pressing and everything. 45 minutes. I don't have another block ready to go, so I won't pull another one out, but I'll know for next time I want to do some marathon sewing. Marathon sewing is actually when I sew all day, and this is not all day. This is just the time that I have, just using the time that I have to be productive. Friends, I had something roll across my YouTube today. Let me tell you what I saw, and then I'll tell you what happened. I saw a winter weather prediction saying that it was going to be weird weather. And I started looking at it, and then I looked at how long ago this video was put out there. Y'all, it was 11 months ago. I was like, whew, we don't need any weirder weather than we have right now. We had a day that was mild, and now it's another 100-degree day. You know, that's just how it is. Okay, so I'm bringing my board back up here. And what I'm doing this time is flipping this one over because I want to sew on the correct side. And if you're sewing on the side that has your solid color, like your solid, you're on the wrong side. Trust me. I did that already. I've sewn the wrong sides together. The biggest part of this block is keeping it figured out what goes where. Oh, I just hit that needle. My good, that pen with my needle. Well, it's about time for a new needle anyway. So friends, here we are putting the last 2 squares together to make a row for our final blocks. Now we still have to put the top and bottom rows together for each block. I still need to press these out as well. So we got about a good another 15 minutes in this. You are just catching the shortened version of everything. So friends, that's how it goes. I don't want you to sit here and watch all this. But I will be trimming these apart and then pressing them, and we will be right back, friends. Okay, friends, we have them all pressed, and now I'm just laying them on my table so I can get them lined up, and this will actually make one of the blocks. These 2 rows here will make a block, and the other 2 rows will make the other block. So I am making 2 blocks at one time. It is very easy to get confused when you are making 2 at the same time. Because it's hard in itself with just one block to keep up with what goes, and am I pressing it the right direction to make sure everything nests. Now to some people that doesn't matter. To me, I like a nesting seam. Okay, so we're gonna flip this. This is our second block, friends. I know I'm behind the screen here, aren't I? I moved my my tripod over, and I got it where I'm behind the machine and you can't see me. But all you need to see is what I'm sewing. That's the only thing important in this room right now is what I'm sewing. Maybe I feel like Dorothy of Wizard of Oz and I'm behind the curtain. I do have some other projects that I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to do some in the hoop projects. That's some of the things that I'm getting ready for Christmas. I do like to put those things out there for Christmas time. I wanted to do a show this year, a market this year, but it's just not going to happen. I need to get inventory up if that's what I want to do, and I have a lot to do before that happens. I used to do a trade days in our local area, and that is no longer. They quit doing the trade days. So friends, that is it for us making our 2 Jolly Bar blocks. Let me show you what we've got here. Block 1. Does everything looks good on block 1? Now we know something can happen. Something can easily happen. And that's block 2. Everything looks good on block 2. You know, it probably would be better. I don't know. I think this is... That's the way they go there. I think. Yeah, that's the way they go. That's the way they go. So friends, thank you so much for joining me. We've been at this for an hour now, and that's not bad. I got 2 blocks in 1 hour. I'm going to press them out, and then I'm going to call it a night. So friends, thank you once again for joining me, listening to me chit chat, watching me sew. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you got to have you a little bit of sewing time as well. Please give me a thumbs up before you head out. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss a thing that we have going on. Feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.